Identifying notes on a staff. This is the first lesson in, if you're going to learn music theory, this is the place to start. Now, it's not necessary to know music theory if you play an instrument or music or you sing, but it can only enhance your music. A lot of people don't learn music theory because they think they only need to learn music theory if they're playing jazz or classical music, and that's not true. If you play a different style of music, rock, pop, reggae, whatever, music theory can enhance your ability to come up with more creative stuff through progressions. Now, the whole thing is that a lot of people play music by feel and by ear, and they don't use music theory, and it's really not necessary, but it does give you a little bit of an advantage learning music theory and using principles of music theory and progression to come up with more interesting material or to make your existing material more interesting. So if you're just starting out in music theory, this is the place to start. And we're going to go into this lesson to identify notes on the staff. This is the most important part because if you want to be able to read and not get frustrated by, looking at a piece of music and knowing what it is, it's important to really learn these notes, what they look like, and be able to pick them out no matter where they are on the staff. So the first thing we'll start with is the G clef. And on the G clef, we have 5 lines and 4 spaces. On the lines for the notes, they are E, G, B, D, and F. And these are the notes on the lines on the G clef. You can have notes above the lines and the notes below the lines. So it's just a continuation. So if this is E, the note below this line would be D, and the note on the next line will be C. And we'll take a look at that a little bit later. But for now, it's just good to learn what these notes are in their position on the staff. And these are the notes on the G clef on the line. If we take a look at the notes on the spaces of the G clef, they are F, A, C, and E. And if we put the two together, we start from E and we end up in E. So they would be E, G, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, and back to E. And these are the ones in the spaces. Now this is just for the G clef, or sometimes called the treble clef. We also have the bass clef, and the notes are different on that. They're a little bit, they're a few steps below. So here we have the bass clef, and the notes, they look exactly the same. They're in the same positions as they were on the G clef, but they're called something different. So on the bass clef, the first note on the first line is a G. Second line, it's a B. Third, D. Fourth, F. And fifth, A. Okay, so it's a little bit different, and you may not use the bass clef, but if you're going to do arrangements, which we'll talk about a little bit later, it's really good to sometimes use both a bass and a treble. So it'll give your arrangement a little more depth. And now we'll take a look at the spaces on the bass clef, and they are A, C, E, and G. So, just by going through all of these, start to get your eye matching to what the position of the note is and just picking it out. You can use flashcards. We have some virtual flashcards on Recording Home Audio, which test your knowledge of sight. The whole idea is it's kind of like reading when you just see something, you know exactly where it is. If you see this note alone on a bass clef, you know that it's a G. And that just comes from practicing. And like I said, music theory is not necessary to learn, but I'll give you an example. Let's say you have acoustic rock or acoustic folk, and you sing and you perform and you play guitar. What this will do is if you have a MIDI or arrangement program where you can plot out the notes, and you could do this in straightforward MIDI, but the problem with straightforward MIDI is that you can't actually see the notes. You can do this more in a type of program with Finale MIDI, where you can actually plot out the notes and you can apply principles of music theory when you're actually doing it from the notes. And this is good because you can set an instrument to this, like a background violin or trumpet or whatever you want to do. You can have an arrangement in a bass or treble clef, and you can output that as a WAV file and then put the arrangement into your acoustic song. So you don't have to go and hire someone to play a violin or a cello or a horn. You can do this all yourself, and it takes a little bit of practice, but it's really not that hard if you have a good musical ability. Next, we'll take a look at finale, and we'll actually play the notes on the staff.